comment,
and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Podcast. I am DK Wrestler.
And I am MD Shady.
And in today's podcast, we are talking all about the remaining Funko Pops of September 2022. We're just out of September now, and we still got a decent amount of Funko Pops to discuss about, but also because of that, we have our segment, The Update, which those brand new to the podcast, we will talk about what the update is when we get to that segment. Without further ado, though, the pops we're talking about today range from September 19th all the way until the final day of September, which was the 30th. So kicking off, we're talking September 19th all the way until, I believe, September 27th, which kicking off, we have ourselves first. Entertainment Earth had announced their own exclusive pop on September 19th of Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, which is expected to release as early as January 2023. Then on September 20th, Funko had announced a new set of football, or as we call it, soccer pops, which we got ourselves pops of Lionel Messi and Sergio Ramos from Paris Saint-Germain, and we have a pop of Jack Grealish from Manchester City, in which those are expected to release as early as November 2022. On that same day, Funko had announced a new set of Naruto Shippuden pops, which we got ourselves common pops of Might Guy, 8 Gates Might Guy, Kiba with Akamaru, a 6-pass Sage Madara Uchiha, and then we have ourselves Uzumo Kamazuki with an exclusive pop of Madara Uchiha, a glow-in-the-dark version of the 6-path Sage version, which there's also a couple of other exclusives, which we already discussed about last month, which is why I didn't mention it here, in which those are actually available now. And last but not least for that day, we have ourselves a pop of Kuromi with Baku from the Sanrio lineup, Hello Kitty more specifically, in which that's going to be exclusive to Hot Topic, and it's expected to release as early as November 2022. Then on September 21st, Business Wire had confirmed a pop comic covers of the Brave and Bold Justice League America covers, which will be exclusive to Walmart, and it will be released actually as this podcast should be releasing on October 7th. On that same day, Funko had announced a brand new set of pops for the Bob's Burger movie, which we have ourselves pops of Ban Louise, 4-year-old Bob, Bikini Burger Linda, Ban Jean, Bob with Burger Cart Pop Deluxe, which will be exclusive to Amazon, and then Ban Tina, which those are expected to release as early as January 2023. Funko had also announced on that same day the next pop involved in the Disney Villains Assemble Pop Deluxe set, which is of Dr. Facilier from The Princess and the Frog, in which that's going to be exclusive to Hot Topic like the rest of the set, and it's expected to release as early as November 2022. And last but not least for that day, Funko Europe had announced a last-minute edition for the Festival of Fun reveals, which we have a gingerbread 4-pack of Spider-Man, Groot, Diamond Collection Thor, and glow-in-the-dark Baby Groot, which unknown of when that will be releasing. Then on September 23rd, Box Lunch had announced their own exclusive pop of Mama Odie with Snake from, I believe it is The Princess and the Frog, in which that is available now both online and in stores. Then on September 25th, Funko had confirmed on the Funko app of a flocked cinema roll from the Sanrio lineup, in which that's going to be exclusive to Hot Topic, unknown yet of when that'll be releasing. Then on September 26th, Funko had announced 2 Target exclusive pop comic covers, one of Captain Marvel and the other of She-Hulk, in which it is unknown yet of when these will exactly be releasing, but were available for pre-order on that day. And last but not least for this section, on September 27th, Funko had announced a pop of Bella Poarch for the Rocks lineup, in which that's expected to release as early as March 2023. And last but not least, announced by Pop Culture, is a Rocket and Groot on the Beach pop moments for the Marvel lineup, in which that is available now on the Pop Culture website with restricted shipping for both Canada and the US. All right, so kicking off with Sebastian from The Little Mermaid, and I think this is a pretty decent pop. I mean, there's actually quite a bit of hype from what I've seen in the comments involved with this pop, because I don't remember the last time we had a Sebastian. If we did, it might have been kind of like a little bit of a pop and buddy with like an Ariel or something, but it's cool. We got Sebastian on his own, and he's kind of have a deluxe form where you have like the book and then like the shell there with a little bit of grass. I think that's pretty decent. They did a pretty decent job with this. Then we have the new football, or as I say, soccer, because we're in North America, pops. These are okay. I mean, we've had, a bunch of pops for the soccer lineup that's in this exact pose, but I know a lot of hype is going towards, I believe it's Lionel Messi. I remember seeing in the comments. Then we got the new Naruto Shippuden pops, which, I mean, the comments look pretty decent. I actually seen a lot of the comments actually while I was at my local GameStop today before recording the podcast, and they do look pretty cool, especially the character on the bottom left corner I seen there, and the last character, I forget what his name is, with kind of like the water dripping out of his mouth, I seen there too. And they all look cool, and I'm a little bit surprised that there is going to be a common version of the 8 Gates Might guy, since we already discussed about the Chalice Collectibles Glow in the Dark version, I believe it was last week or the week before on the podcast. We got ourselves Kuromi with Baku, and this is okay, I guess. I mean, I'm not too into the Sanrio lineup, but some of the ones they make for this lineup as terms to pops are pretty decent, including this one. Then we have ourselves the Justice League America Brave and Bold pop comic covers, and this is pretty crazy because this is the first comic covers, I believe, that has more than 1 or 2 characters involved, and they're more in a pocket pop form, which I guess is pretty cool and makes sense considering you can't fit 5 normal sized 4-inch pops in a comic cover. So I guess it makes sense in this case, especially what they're trying to do with the cover. And a little known fact also is that when you get this, you also get a code so that you get an NFT digital card that you can upload onto your Wax account. We have the Bob's Burger movie pops, and these look pretty cool. I haven't seen the movie yet, nor have I seen the TV series at all either. And I mean, the character designs look pretty cool, and I know there is a ton of hype as terms to the Amazon exclusive deluxe pop, and I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, it looks pretty sweet. And then overall, the other pops look pretty cool too. Then we got the Villains Assemble Pop Deluxe with Dr. Facilier, and I feel like this is like the least hyped one that we've gotten so far for this lineup, just because a lot of people were talking about the other pops that were already announced. Like there were people mentioning about the Hades one. There was a lot of people mentioning about the Yzma one. That was the other announcement, like the last announcement that was made for this lineup. This still looks pretty decent, especially with the background, but I mean, I feel like this might be the least bought pop at the entire set, especially because people are also talking about the Ursula that you can see in the silhouette there. Then we have the 4-pack of gingerbread pops, and I mean, there are obviously downs with this, but there's also some ups with this. And I'll mention the ups first before the downs. The ups is that you have 2 brand new gingerbread pops that have never been made into singular pops, or at least singular pops yet. And the other up is that it's not a 4-pack with one of them being a specification. You actually have 2 of the pops having 2 different specifications. So I think that's pretty interesting to kind of spice up the kind of 4-packs that Funko have been doing. But here are my downs for this. First off, we already have a singular Spider-Man pop that was made last year and was announced at Festival of Fun. And the other downs is the fact that you also have the Thor, which is already made into a pop. And not only Thor, but more specifically, we've already had a singular Diamond Collection Thor that was a Hot Topic exclusive. And because this was announced by Funko Europe, it's unknown yet of where this is going to be shared with in North America, whether it's going to be a Target, a Walmart, a Hot Topic. I mean, it could be either Target or Walmart because they seem to be the retailers that have had this trend of having these 4-packs. And I mean, it's cool to see the Groots that are there. And I hope that's kind of the way that they have this 4-pack to where that's the only way you can get them. Otherwise, I'd wait and just see when the singular pops come out. Then we got ourselves Mama Odie with Snake from Princess and the Frog. And this is pretty decent. And this was kind of not like leaked, or maybe it was leaked, but it was revealed a long time ago. And from what I heard from different reports is that like Funko was supposed to cancel this pop. And then they told Box Lunch, either you got to destroy the item or donate it to someone. And that's kind of the situation. But now it's being released finally. So it's kind of weird that that situation kind of happened, but I guess it's good for the people that never ended up getting the pop. And I mean, it looks pretty decent. I mean, there is a lot of hype towards this. So, I mean, I guess that's a good thing also. Cinema Roll from the Sanrio lineup, and it's flocked. That's pretty decent that it's flocked. I mean, flocked pops are always cool. Then we have the pop comic covers of Captain Marvel and She-Hulk. And there was a lot of, I guess, bad hype towards the Captain Marvel because of the fact that it's more of Ms. Marvel and how you see it in the like Disney Plus Marvel series. But at the same time, I believe in the comics, she was referred to as Captain Marvel and not Ms. Marvel. But I do like how they basically copied the cover. But at the same time, I do like the She-Hulk one a little bit better just of how they positioned that. But I kind of wish they made more of a smaller pop of the character that is in front of She-Hulk, which I'm not too sure if it's a different character or that might be who She-Hulk is, not in the Hulk form. Then we got Bella Poarch from the Rocks lineup, which I don't really know much about. I don't want to say this character, it's actually a person. Besides that, I guess she is like a famous TikTok star, which kind of figured because I don't have TikTok, nor will I probably ever get TikTok. I guess she's got like 90 million followers or whatever. So I guess Funko's taking advantage of that, even though there's a lot of people in the comments on Instagram mentioning who is she, why is she getting a pop, blah, blah, blah. And then last but not least for the section, we have the Groot and Rocket moments. And this is pretty cool. I like the overall detail of the sandcastle. You got Groot with the stretched arms, and then you kind of have Rocket Raccoon there on the top of the castle there. Pretty decent. And from what I heard, this is rumored to be a box lunch exclusive, which kind of makes sense.
Okay, starting off with Sebastian. This isn't a bad pop at all. I think it does look good, and there is a little bit of like a deluxe aspect to it, which is nice, but it feels like we've already had this pop. I just feel like there's been Sebastian pops that were already pretty good, so I don't know if this is necessarily needed, but overall, it's not a bad pop. Then we have some new football pops or soccer, depending on what you want to call it. And we finally have Lionel Messi, which is really, really cool. It's actually funny too, because one of my coworkers just got into collecting Funko Pops, and he was saying how he's like, oh, well, there's got to be a Lionel Messi. And I was like, oh, yeah, there is. And then I looked it up and I realized, no, there isn't a Lionel Messi pop yet, which is just crazy. And then like 2 days go by and Funko announces it. So I don't know if they got me microchipped or something, but it seems like recently Funko has been listening to my conversations and giving us what we want. And then we have some new pops for Naruto Shippuden, and this is a pretty decent looking wave. There's a lot of really cool pops in here, but it feels like nothing really stands out to me. They all kind of look like what a lot of Naruto pops look like, but that isn't a bad thing. There are some cool ones in here, especially with that character that has the water coming out of the mouth. We haven't really seen anything like that recently, at least for a design of a Funko Pop. So that's pretty cool. Then we have the Hot Topic exclusive Kuromi, and this is a decent looking pop. I'm kind of liking this wave of pops, but yeah, definitely not my cup of tea. Next up, we have the Justice League of America comic covers, and this is freaking sweet. I mean, this is exactly what I want to see when it comes to covers of any sort that Funko makes, albums, anything like that. I want to see exactly what is on the cover itself, and they did a great job with this. I mean, if they would have done this and just had like Aquaman or maybe even just the Starro, then it wouldn't be as good. And I don't mind the fact that it is like a pocket pop kind of size. I think that that's good. And you want to keep, obviously, the comic book covers the same kind of size. So having the pocket pops in this form for 5 characters is great. And I hope that Funko continues to do some different covers like this. Then we have the new wave of Bob's Burgers pops for the movie, and these are pretty sweet. A lot of these look really good, especially the Bob with the burger cart, the Amazon exclusive. That is pretty crazy. I really like that. I haven't watched the movie yet. I have watched some of the show, and I do like it. It's not one of my favorite shows, but it's a decent show. I could definitely see a lot of people wanting to get these pops, especially with the hype of the movie just being in theaters. And then we have the newest Disney Villains Deluxe set, and this is a good pop. I mean, the pop itself looks decent, but now that we're seeing more of these pops come together with only 2 left to see, this set doesn't look super great together, which is very disappointing because I was really excited for it. It looked very promising. So I think at this point now, I'm just going to get the Krunk and the Yzma and probably not get the whole set. It doesn't feel like a set of pops that are supposed to be displayed together. It feels like six really good looking deluxe pops. Then we have the 4-pack for the Marvel gingerbread cookies, and this is very interesting. I mean, what a weird 4-pack of characters to throw together, especially considering two of the characters are the same character. So yeah, it's weird. It is cool that you do have two different specifications with the Diamond Collection and the Glow in the Dark pop. I would really like to see a 4-pack, not necessarily gingerbread, but any 4-pack that we see like this that has pops put together have 4 different specifications, or else just don't give me a 4-pack. Then we have the Mama Odie pop, and this is a pretty good looking pop. And I actually did hear about that thing where they had to either destroy them or donate them. And I was reading up on it, and I forget exactly where some of these got donated. I think it was like basically like a children's shelter or something like that. But this pop just doesn't look like a pop to me. I feel like there's too much detail put into the face that it's just a lot of the pop aspects just aren't there, but it is a good figure. Then we have the next Hello Kitty pop of Cinnamon Roll, and this is okay. These pops are cool, I guess, for the Sanrio, but yeah, I don't know. Definitely not what I'm looking for in a pop, but overall, it is a cool pop. Then we have the Captain Marvel comic book covers, and this is okay. I don't mind this. There's not a ton going on with it, but I do like the fact that the fist is oversized in the pop because I could easily see Funko just having the fist up and not oversizing it and just calling it a day. But they did do that, so that's good. This is a decent comic book cover. And then we have the She-Hulk comic book cover, and this makes sense. Obviously, Funko wants to pump out a bunch of She-Hulk stuff with the show currently going on Disney Plus. This is a decent one as well, but it's one of those things again where I think that we should maybe see more to this, more like the Justice League comic book covers that we've seen, because there is a lot going on this cover, but we just get She-Hulk standing there in pop form. And then next we have Bella Poarch, and this is a cool pop. I was pretty excited about the announcement that she was going to be like teaming up with Funko. I like her work. I like her TikToks. I think they're fine. And her music is actually pretty good as well for kind of like pop music. So yeah, this is a cool pop, and I'll probably end up buying one at some point to add it to my Pop Rocks collection. And then lastly, we have the Rocket and Groot, and this is pretty cool. There's a lot of detail going on with this, and overall it looks good. I wish that this was Diamond Collection though, because that sand could easily just have been glittered and it would look perfect. But maybe that will be a specification down the road if they decide to add any specifications to this pop.
Are you looking for great pop protectors? Then look no further than popbox.ca. They have a variety of 4-inch and 6-inch protectors in different quantities. Do you want to get 10 protectors, 20? You can get even up to 250 pop protectors over on popbox.ca. And also use our promo code of Funko Popcast for 10% off of your entire purchase of pop protectors. The code is going on until supplies last. So go get your pop protector needs now over on popbox.ca using our code of Funko Popcast to get 10% off.
And let me tell you guys, we're not just screwing around here. These are some great pop protectors. We own a multitude of these protectors. They are some of the best I've seen. Stop buying from EB Games. I'm not boycotting EB Games by any means, but their pop protectors are not as good. So again, use code of Funko Popcast for 10% off.
All right, moving on to the next section of pops, which range from September 28th to September 30th. So kicking off, first, we have ourselves announced by Funko. We have ourselves a Space Ranger Alpha Buzz Lightyear for the Pixar movie Lightyear, which is exclusive to the Funko shop. And at the moment, it is still currently available to purchase on the Funko shop website. On that same day, Funko announced a pop of a Blossom Cherry Winnie the Pooh flocked pop for the Disney lineup, which is going to be exclusive to Hot Topic, and it's expected to release as early as November 2022. And on that same day, Gemini Collectibles had announced their own exclusive pop of a flocked Courage the Cowardly Dog for the Cartoon Network lineup, in which pre-orders have since sold out as of the recording of this podcast. Then on September 29th, Walmart had announced their own exclusive 3-pack of Whitney Houston, which is expected to release as early as February 2023. On that same day, Funko had announced a last-minute edition of a New York Comic-Con exclusive Funko Pop of a Drive Me Away Britney Spears for the Rocks lineup, in which that will be available this Friday, or it should be available now as this podcast gets released, at New York Comic-Con and the specific retailer it will be shared to. On that same day, Crunchyroll had announced their own exclusive pop of a glow-in-the-dark Maralonia, okay, I know I butchered that one, from Black Clover, and it is expected to release as early as October 2022. On that same day, Funko had officially showed off the glam shots for the upcoming, or it would have been out as you guys are listening to this at this point, of the Game of Thrones NFT pops, which first off, we have ourselves Jaime Lannister with gold hand, many-faced Arya Stark, Jaqen Gahur, I know I botched that one too, with mask, and Beyond the Wall, the Hound, which will be limited to 2,700 pieces as legendary pops. We got Daenerys Targaryen with Egg, which will be the 999-piece Grail pop. And we have ourselves Wildling Jon Snow, which will be the royalty pop, limited to 4,500 pieces, in which, as we are recording this, the cards will be released tomorrow at 11 a.m. PST, 2 p.m. EST on the Drop website. But as you guys are listening to this, those would be already gone and sold out at that point. Then on September 30th, Target announced their own exclusive retro Star Wars pops of Chewbacca, R2-D2, Ben Kenobi, and Emperor Palpatine, which the pre-orders have since sold out and unknown yet of when they'll be releasing at Target stores. On that same day, Funko had announced a pop of Thackeray Binks from Hocus Pocus, which will be a Funko Shop exclusive, and it's unknown yet of when that pop will be releasing. And then last but not least, Costco, of all places, had announced their own exclusive 4-packs. First off, we have a exclusive 4-pack of Eevee, Vaporeon, Jolteon, and Flareon from Pokemon. And we have a Disney Ultimate Princess 4-pack of Ariel, Jasmine, Rapunzel, and a glow-in-the-dark Moana, which these are available now both online and in stores at Costco. So kicking off with the Space Ranger Alpha Buzz Lightyear, and I'm pumped for this. I mean, who doesn't like another Toy Story / Lightyear Funko Pop? Or maybe that's just me, which I was really excited to see this because I wasn't really expecting there to be any more Lightyear pops after the release of the, I think, 6 or 7 that had already been announced. There was like a huge gap between like the last wave of pops and then having this one be announced. I thought this would have been, I kind of figured this would eventually be a pop. I mean, I ended up actually obtaining this pop through the Pop Culture website, surprisingly, since a lot of Funko Shop exclusives are now restricted shipping for Canada, since Toys R Us is the official retailer for Funko Shop exclusives. But I was actually able to do a bundle that they had on the website for much cheaper than buying 2 singular pops of, it was the Space Ranger Alpha Buzz Lightyear and the flocked socks for the Lightyear lineup. So I can't wait to get both of those pops and have them arrive along with a Funko Soda figure for our upcoming can cracking video in the near future. So I can't wait for this. It looks really cool. I'm glad they ended up doing a Buzz Lightyear with hair as a Funko Pop for the lineup. I felt like it was a little needed. Then we got ourselves Winnie the Pooh, the Blossom Cherry Winnie the Pooh, and I think it's pretty decent. And I mean, first reaction I had was, wow, Valentine's Day pops already being announced by Funko. But it doesn't seem like it's the case that it is like, I guess, a Valentine's Day pop, considering it's not marked as Valentine's. It's just so happens to be the colors of Valentine's, but who knows? Then we got ourselves a flocked Courage the Cowardly Dog, and I guess this is pretty decent. I'm surprised we're getting this now instead of having it being released around the same time as the original one got released last year, around the time of Cartoon Classics reveals. And I mean, it's cool that we have it because obviously it's a dog, so it makes sense for it to be flocked. And I mean, for those that might not have a Gemini Collectibles exclusive sticker, this would be a good time to grab this pop with that sticker if you enjoy Courage the Cowardly Dog, like some people, maybe even a co-host on this podcast. Then we got the Whitney Houston 3-pack, and I mean, this is okay. It's just, It's good if you're already planning on getting these 3 pops. If you didn't get these pops yet, then you can just get these. But at the same time, now as I realize, one of them is a Diamond Collection pop, which I don't know which one it is. I think it's the one in the purple dress because I believe in the middle with the gray outfit is already a Diamond Collection singular pop. So I'm going to assume it's the I Want to Dance with Somebody version that's going to be Diamond Collection in this 3-pack. But the rest are singular pops that are not like a specification version, which I mean, I don't like when Funko does that. Then we got ourselves the new Britney Spears pop for NYCC, and it's so weird when Funko decides to do a last minute NYCC reveal instead of just announcing it with the rest. Like, I don't know why. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, actually today as we were recording this, it was actually confirmed by Funko themselves that this is going to be shared with FYE in the US, which means it will be shared with Sunrise Records here in Canada. So anyone who is so happens to also be a Simpsons fan, along with being a Britney Spears fan, you can get this pop along with the Kearney pop that is also going to be shared there. So this looks pretty decent. And I mean, I guess it's a cool pop rocks pop compared to a lot of the ones we've gotten for Comic Con the last couple of years, I guess. Then we got ourselves the pop from Black Clover, and this looks pretty decent, not glow in the dark right now, but assuming that the glow in the dark specification on this pop is going to be involved with the flames and possibly the eyes. I don't know what else would glow, considering the glam shot we're looking at doesn't show what the glow will look like. But overall, the detail of this pop looks pretty sweet, and it's a cool addition to the Black Clover lineup. And then we have ourselves the Game of Thrones NFT pops, and these are okay. I mean, some of them look like pops that have already been made, except it's just slightly different. I know there's a lot of hype towards Jaime Lannister because I believe there's only been one other pop of him for the Game of Thrones lineup. The one pop with the mask has already been made exactly the way it is, except it's just a slightly different mold holding a mask. It's so weird actually seeing no Freddy Funko as the royalty pop. It's just a different character, which I think we only had that happen once before with, I believe, the Bob's Big Boy NFT set. Then we got ourselves the retro Star Wars pops, and these look wicked. I love the designs of each and every one of these pops, even Chewbacca, R2-D2 with the how the blues pop up really look cool. My favorite probably has to be Emperor Palpatine, just because I don't have a well, actually, that's a lie. I do have a Palpatine pop, as in the new Red Saber series Palpatine as Darth Sidious, but overall, I never got the original molding of this, which would have been the Return of the Jedi set that they did a few years back. But overall, I like the way that they did this Emperor Palpatine pop, and just overall, I like the entire set they made. Then we have ourselves the Thatchery Binks from Hocus Pocus, and I'm not sure if this is supposed to be just a pop based off of the original Hocus Pocus movie or for the brand new Hocus Pocus 2 that just released on Disney Plus this past Friday. But overall, I think it's pretty sweet. You got the overall design of the cat, and then you also have the spell book that I believe is what's kept the witches in there for so many years. Then last but not least, we have ourselves the 4 packs for the Disney Ultimate Princess set and the Pokemon. And I'll mention about Disney Princess first because I have more to say about the Pokemon set. The Disney Princess set is a little meh. We've already had these pops in singular form, except one is going to be glow in the dark, and I'm assuming it's obviously Moana because of the placement of the sticker. What's there to be glow in the dark about this pop? Like, I don't exactly know what could be glow in the dark. And then we have the, I guess you can call it Evolutions 4-pack. This is cool, but not cool at the same time. It's cool because obviously Eevee with the Evolutions, that's pretty cool. And especially if you haven't somehow gotten the singular pops yet of the Evolution pops, then you can get it in this 4-pack. But I do have a little bit of a couple of gripes for this. First off, if it's a Costco exclusive, why isn't there a Costco exclusive sticker? That just really bothers me when they do these exclusive 4-packs and they don't have the sticker on them. I'm kind of curious to know what a Costco exclusive sticker would look like. Another gripe is the fact of it's cool that they have these all together. It makes sense, but especially with the fact that there are more Evolution pops being made, why couldn't Funko at this point just save it until they have the other Evolution pops made and you can make like an 8-pack involving all of them? I think that would have been much better, in my opinion, is just wait until you can get all like 8 of them, including Eevee. and then make an 8-pack, because I feel like now, as I think about it, they probably will eventually do that at some point. So I feel like it's a waste of time just making this 4-pack right now, only for them to make possibly maybe another 4-pack down the line with the other evolution pops. They should have saved it to make this mega 8-pack, but maybe they're doing it because, like, I'm pretty sure like all 4 of these evolutions, they are, I believe, Gen 1. And then maybe they're doing the other ones because it's a different generation. So they want to like separate both of them. But I felt like it would have been much cooler if you did an 8-pack, kind of like how you have the BTS 7-packs. I think it would have been cooler to have these as 8-packs per se, instead of having 2 separate 4-packs.
So kicking off with the second half, we have the newest Buzz Lightyear pop, and this one's pretty good. I do think that a Buzz pop without the hood on where you can see his hair was needed, because there was definitely a lot of the movie where he had his hair out. So this is cool. I like the pose. I think that's good as well. Arguably one of the better Buzz Lightyear pops from the Lightyear movie. Next up, we have the flocked Hot Topic exclusive Cherry Blossom Winnie the Pooh, and this is okay. I don't think this necessarily has to be the pink that it is shaded in. I think that it could easily just be the normal colors for Winnie the Pooh, and you have the cherry blossoms with the hair, and then it could still be flocked. I think that having it flocked is a good detail, so it's not too bad. And then we have the Gemini flocked Courage the Cowardly Dog. And this is pretty cool, but why did we not see this when we got the original Courage? Like, I have the common Courage the Cowardly Dog pop, and it makes me not really want to buy this flocked one, because why do I need a common and a flocked? I already have the common, unless I want to sell the common and then go for the flocked one, because I do think that this is a pop that should be flocked. But instead of seeing a flocked version, I'd rather see other characters from the show, or maybe some of the monsters from the show. I think that that would have been cool. Overall, not a bad pop. Maybe I will go for it. I haven't really decided yet. Then we have the Whitney Houston 3-pack, and this is okay. I understand it's a decent 3-pack because it's 3 of the same character, which is fine. But I think you'd have to be a really like mega Whitney Houston fan to want to get this. I think that your like average Pop Rocks collector would probably pass on this, because if you are collecting the Pop Rocks, you might already have all 3 of these pops. So just having some of it, or at least one pop, be Diamond Collection, I don't think really justifies buying this 3-pack. And then we have the newest New York Comic Con announcement with the Britney Spears, and this is a pretty decent pop. I like how this looks. There's some cool details added with the milkshake that she's holding. I think that that's pretty cool. One of my favorite Britney Spears pops that we've seen so far. Next up, we have a new pop for Black Clover, and this is a decent looking pop. I like how this looks. The fire base looks really cool, how it's kind of wrapping around and not just a flame coming up from the bottom like we do see from time to time. So this is a cool pop. There's a lot of detail going on with it, and it's glow in the dark, so you can't really beat that. And that Crunchyroll sticker is pretty cool as well, if you guys are fans of collecting different stickers. And then we have the newest set of NFT pops with Game of Thrones. And this is a pretty decent NFT drop, I think, in my opinion. There's lots of different pops of different characters, or pops that we have seen like a character of already that is just a different version, which I do think is good for the NFTs. It sucks, especially with other drops in the past where you have like a brand new character for a different show or something like that that hasn't had a pop before, and the only way to get it is through the NFT. Where with some of these characters, we have seen them in pop form, so you don't necessarily need to have this to have a pop of said character. And then we have the Star Wars pops, and these are really cool. This is what I think the artist series should be. Just like this. This looks so cool. These look like someone took a Sharpie to the pops themselves, which I think is great. That's kind of why it gives me like an artist series vibe, and what I would like to see the artist series be. The R2D2 looks so awesome. I don't know what it is about it. The cell shading that we're seeing, it looks so cool. This whole set of pops is awesome. Some of my favorite Star Wars pops that we've seen in a while, just because I love that bold kind of texture that we see with these. And the Darth Sidious is also just really cool, or Palpatine is really cool. It seems like there's so much depth to that pop, the way that they've done this. I don't understand why Funko doesn't have these as artist series pops. The next pop we have is the cat from Hocus Pocus, which I cannot remember the name, but this is pretty cool. I would have liked to see this be glow in the dark with the eyes being the glow on it. I think that would have been a cool touch, especially considering it is a Funko Shop exclusive. Then we have the glow in the dark 4 pack of the Disney princesses, and this is okay. I mean, we've been seeing so much Disney princess stuff recently that is like the gold dresses that we've talked about that we didn't really like that much. The really cool, like deluxe kind of pops that we've seen for the Disney princesses, which were good, which I believe these are those pops in here. But I don't think that we need a 4 pack. It just doesn't really make sense. And then lastly, we have the Costco exclusive Evolution 4 pack, which I do think this is a great idea. I do think having every Evolution as pops would be a great idea as well. And having them in like an 8 pack or like a 7 pack or whatever would be the best idea. But I do like this 4 pack. If it did have a Costco sticker, I would definitely be jumping on this because I am kind of a like a sticker buff. I like to have different stickers in my collection. But unfortunately, there is no sticker on it, which sucks because my mom's actually at Costco right now. So I could have easily got her to pick me one up, but I probably will pass on it for now, unless maybe I see it in the wild and pick it up myself.
All right. So now we're going to move on to our segment, The Update. So, those brand new to the podcast, The Update is a segment that, since we are now officially over and done with September 2022, and we kick off with the first set of October reveals next week on the pod, that we get to kind of redo the top 10 list from last week, since, like I mentioned, we are over and done with September 2022. That's the end of September reveals. And basically, for these top 10 lists, we're not going to list the entire list, depending on how many things we have updated. Highly doubt we have 10 brand new pops added to the top 10 list. But the way that we do it is that we start off right at the bottom at number 10 and then work our way until wherever the highest spot that a pop is. And then the rest, we keep it a mystery in case you guys did not tune into last week's podcast for that top 10 list. So I will actually start off first to kind of give you guys this example. So starting off at number 10 on my list is a brand new pop added, and that is the Funko Shop exclusive Alpha Space Ranger Buzz Lightyear. I think this pop looks great. I think we needed a Buzz Lightyear with the hair for the Lightyear lineup. And even the posing looks great. I bought the pop, so I definitely think that's why it shot up to the top 10 list, but it's not higher because there was no posting from Funko to look at what other people had as terms to their own hype. And now going to number 9 is the Amazon exclusive Bob's Burger Cart Pop Deluxe. I think that pop looks pretty cool, and a lot of people are hyped for it as terms to the comments on Instagram, which is why it definitely shot up higher, because actually there was a posting for the pop, unlike the Alpha Space Ranger Buzz Lightyear. And then that's all the pops I have updated. So that would mean that 8 pops going from 8 to 1 stay the same as terms to the list. And if you guys want to find out what the rest of those pops would be, tune into last week's episode of a Funko Podcast to find out the rest of my top 10 list. And now we move over to MD Shady's list right now for the update.
All right, so there definitely was some pretty cool pops for the last part of September, but nothing cool enough as the bottom half, or the top half, I guess you could say, of September. So my list has not changed. I felt like the 10 pops that I picked were really, really great pops with a mix of New York Comic Con as well as some other pops that were exclusive to other places. So yeah, nothing has changed for September.
So if you guys want to find out MD Shady's top 10 list, then once again, tune in to last week's edition of a Funko Podcast to find out the official full top 10 list for MD Shady, since his list did not update. So anyways, guys, that is going to be the end of this week's edition of a Funko Podcast. If you guys enjoyed this week's edition of a Funko Podcast, make sure you smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and let us know your favorite pops from this selection that we talked about today. Press the subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do on this channel in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at A Funko Podcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's edition of A Funko Podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week for the first set of October 2022 Funko Pop announcements. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
To infinity and beyond. Peace in, peace out.